Countdown. Hello, I'm Willie Bragg. I want to wish each and every one of you once again a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and hopefully a better 2022. And anyway, this is what I'm doing right now. Something real quick before I go to work. I have to go to work for a few hours this morning, and so I would normally be at work at this time. But anyway, suffice to say, let me go ahead and do this real quick. All right. Just want to kind of get into the, festive spirit while, it's that time of the year. But anyway, what I want to talk about, first, before I get into the meat and potatoes, what I want to talk about, I want to say, please, my goodness, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you're kind of kept up to date with all that needs to be discussed. So, with no further ado, I'm going to start off with part one of the bad news. And part one of this bad news is that left-wing streamer June Lapine, known as Shoe0nHead, is now got COVID. I found that out earlier today. Or actually at this point yesterday on Twitter. And I'm hoping that, I'm going to hope June Lapine keep her in my thoughts and prayers, and hopefully she will recuperate, and hopefully it's mild, and she'll get back to normal, and of all people for it to happen to, I hate it that it happened to her, and I wish her a very, very speedy recovery. So, there's that about June Lapine. It sucks that when we all get COVID, I hope I never get it. I think that what I will start doing is wearing the mask a little more often. I've got a little lax about it since North Carolina, certain parts of North Carolina, they're a little more lax than some other parts of the country. So, and especially in my neck of the woods in Johnson County, North Carolina. But anyway, let me get back to what is going on. June Lapine not only has COVID, and I hope she recuperates swiftly, but June Lapine, she attended the recent TPUSA, and for those, and I'm sure most people know what TPUSA stand for, but just the same, I will tell you what happened with regard to TPUSA. Shoe0nHead got, I'll show you this thing here, and I'll get to the point. Here she is at TPUSA. They had this thing called Free Speech Ball, and you can write on that free speech ball whatever you want. Because, Turning Point USA, when it comes to liberty and it comes to freedom, Turning Point USA says we don't need to be snowflakes, and we can stand for whatever we want to stand for and believe whatever we want to believe, and don't believe in cancel culture. Except that when June Lapine wrote Socialism Rocks, guess what they did to her? You can see where it says Socialism Rocks. There she is, with a marker writing Socialism Rocks. Day later on, scratched it out. They scratched it out because they were offended. They were snowflakes. They were whiny little bitches about the idea of somebody writing socialism on a free speech ball. So it comes to show you, when you hear the right sit there and bellyache and beat their chest and like, "Rah, we're alpha, we're true men, we believe in freedom of speech, we don't need no politically correct snowflake libtard telling us how to believe and what to say." But when it comes right down to it, they go and they turn into the biggest censorers. They basically, that so-called free speech ball of theirs was their safe space. And oh no, God forbid, somebody comes up with a different idea, and will dare challenge them in the battle of ideas about socialism rocking. The thing about it is that socialists get a bad rap in the United States. We get a bad rap because we're called authoritarians, and we're accused of being for censorship or what have you. But you think about the censorship situation in this country. You think about it. Look at the BDS laws. Now, it's kind of bipartisan, but those who are connected with the religious right and the neoconservatives within the Republican Party, they want to go and prosecute, fine, and put in prison anybody that supports the BDS boycott campaign. I personally don't support BDS, not because I'm insensitive to what Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. I believe that there's a lot of bad players all around, so I will not get involved directly with BDS, and that's my personal choice. But at the same time, I support their freedom of speech to engage in that activism and do what needs to be done. There is not a good player or a good faith actor in the Middle East at this point. I can't support any country in the Middle East at this point until everybody or most people start behaving like sensible human beings from every area in every ideological corner. So I want to get that out of the way. But when it comes to censorship, you have in Kentucky where it's illegal to backtalk a cop. Murder, as political murder's been legalized in Florida by Governor Ron DeSantis, basically saying that theoretically, if there is a protest and it gets blocked and a car just happened to start hitting the people when they're driving through the protest, well, guess what happens? They're immune. They could be. They have a way out, saying that their life was in danger, which pretty much Ron DeSantis, in my opinion, is saying, if you're a MAGA, if you're a true patriot, and you don't like this Black Lives Matter, and you don't like Antifa, and they're blocking you, he's basically saying, go ahead and run over them. We'll protect you. That's what I believe that law is about in Florida. And this guy is a serious contender in the year 2024 for the Republican nomination. Somebody worse than Donald Trump, somebody even worse than Ted Cruz could be the Republican nominee. And that person would be a fascist bully boy like Ron DeSantis. So y'all just kind of keep your eye and because he's dangerous, folks. He's incredibly dangerous. So you got, going back to Kyle Kalinske talked about this, and I bring this point up myself about the Dixie Chicks because about a decade ago when the right wing were getting upset that the LGBTQ community and they're straight allies. You want to call them social justice warriors, fine. They decided to go and protest against Chick-fil-A the boycott because the CEO said that he opposed same-sex marriage. The right wing in this country went ballistic. They'd be like, well, there you go, trying to silence this good Christian man who wants to stand up for God's morals and know that marriage is a holy institution between a man and a woman. They'll go and do that crap. But at the same time, back in 2003, what did they do? Oh, the Dixie Chicks were saying mean things about our president, our commander-in-chief, George W. Bush. Boycott the Dixie Chicks. Or we're going to boycott everything from France. Because the French government knew that the Iraq War was bullshit and they didn't want to get involved. And here's how politically ignorant people were at that time. That socialist Jacques Chirac and his socialist communist ways of trying to oppose our president. Jacques Chirac was a conservative. His Union for Popular Majority government was center-right. But, the Overton window in Europe is so much more sensible than it is here that the Union for a Popular Majority, which is their center-right party in France, is actually to the left of the Democratic Party here in the year 2021, almost in the year 2022. So there you have it. And guess what? The people on the left here in the United States and people on the left and the center-right in Europe and even here in America, some in the Republican side who are libertarian leaning and paleo-conservative, they all saw what bullshit the George W. Bush, Dick Cheney era was and what a dark time it was in U.S. history. So for all the people on the right that want to sit there and shit on Joe Biden or shit on Barack Obama, and for all the people on the liberal left that wants to shit on Donald Trump, I'm going to tell you like it is that George W. Bush was so terrible that Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and even Donald Trump were all an improvement to George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. And that was the darkest period in modern time in American history. And all the problems that we have today goes back to the Bush-Cheney regime. And all the bad decisions that Bush's successor made also goes back to the Bush-Cheney regime. So, and there you have it. Now, Turning Points USA, which is one of the biggest conservative grassroots organizations around, they kind of pretend to be libertarian leaning, but when it comes right down to it, they're, in my opinion, TPUSA is basically the Heritage Foundation for millennials and Generation Z people and even some boomers who think they don't want to look like fuddy-duddy conservatives. So they do their pretend little libertarianism thing and about small government, and I can go into a whole spiel about small government. But the thing about it is that they're really disingenuous, for damn sure. So anyway, that's pretty much what I have to discuss right now before my drive to work and all of that. So as I said, when it comes to Shoe0nHead, I do wish her a speedy recovery from COVID, and I hope that she, in her own way, kind of show to America what hypocrites some of these people on the right are. Now, free speech. Okay, when the liberals and the lefties who claim that they're okay with censorship today, I disagree with those people, but you know what? At least they're being honest. And for those on the right who genuinely supports freedom of speech, I am not taking issue with them either. I will consider people on the right who are for free speech on those issues as my allies at that moment. I'm not particularly particular about who my political allies are on certain issues, because free speech affects us all. And the thing about it is, Those who claim to be for free speech on the right, the conservatives who claim to be for free speech on the right, but when it comes right down to it, they favor censorship when push comes to shove. Well, I have not only do I have not do and I not respect them, I expected no better from them, and I make fun of them, and I passionately am motivated to stand up against those hypocrites even more. So there you have it. And right now we have on our chat line Hot Retarded Chicks. Hey, how are you today? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I agree, poor Shoe, what she's gone through and everything. And but she did her part to expose was the hypocrisy on the right that just took place. Not everybody on the right, because I don't want to sound like I am a total hack. I am intellectually honest. When I think censorship is embraced by people from across the political spectrum on the left, the right, and the center. And yes, libertarians are left. Well, I consider myself a left libertarian, sort of. I have to be careful with my words because some people don't quite get it when I say libertarian left. I'm talking about actual libertarians on the right these days, and those on the left that thinks libertarianism is just basically a bunch of Republicans who like to smoke pot. So, there is a libertarian tradition to the left, and I think that libertarian tradition, there seems to be a comeback on that position, whereas we were on a trajectory broadly as the left on a more SJW path about a half a decade ago, and I think that the left kind of moved away from that, and that should be encouraged. So, anyway, well, libertarians like guns. I don't like guns, but I am a Second Amendment absolutist. I don't own a gun. I don't plan to own a gun, but I am a Second Amendment absolutist, absolutely. So, so I encourage progressives, liberals, lefties, socialists, communists, whatever, that they're opposed to gun control. Don't go and join the NRA, but instead go and join the Socialist Rifles Association, and that's the organization that I would endorse in that regard. So if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree with what I have to say, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Be sure to also subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, I am Willie Bragg, host of the Willie Bragg Show. Wishing each and every one of you a great day, and let's hope that 2022 will be a hell of a lot better than 2021. Let's hope so. Won't hold my breath, but let's hope so. And class struggle all the way. Class struggle 100%.